What's going on, everybody? This is Flash the Samurai with my brother Rakim, aka Rakimism, and this is the Project and Reflect podcast.
A safe space for creators by creatives. Today we talked about being a passionate, multifaceted artist.
Yeah, today we had the lovely Miss Brea Tomlin. She's an author, realtor, competitive fucking person, just an all-around great ball of energy, and we had a very dope conversation today. So please stick around, check it out. Cool intro starts now. When you are, I guess, scoping for houses, what are you looking for?
That's more of like my client's perspective. Like, so what are they looking for? I'm really looking for anything they're looking for. They're looking for a shack in the middle of the woods, or they're looking for a $1 million property.
Right.
It's my job to find it. So within their budget, all their needs, all the criteria they're looking for, whatever. If you were to come to me today and say, like, because we spoke a while ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Just say, I need like a 3-bedroom house under $200,000. Even if it's a difficult task, we're going to make it happen. Like, I have clients who we can find a house, a property in 24 hours and get it going. But then I have clients who we've been working for 3 to 4 months just looking for the right property, you know? So it's just a matter of really finding the right property and not settling for it. So
that's crazy. So like, I never know what the right property is. Like, I'm a nigga that could just live like with something over my head and I'm chilling.
Right.
Like,
Everybody, one thing I've learned from this industry is everybody is so different, and what makes one person happy is not what makes the next person happy.
Right.
Some people want that $1 million like luxury look, and some people literally just want like these historic homes down here, like the classy, just Victorian. That's what makes them happy. You know, like not everybody wants this modernized. Like it's literally what makes you happy.
So are you one of those realtors that put like their signs in the front of houses, like, you know what I mean?
That's when you have like a listing, and that's the money. Sorry.
Oh yeah, word.
You can be a buyer's agent or a seller's agent, and you represent a buyer. So like that's if you want to buy a house and you represent the seller. So if you're selling your house, and if you're selling your house, it's a seller's market. So everybody's looking for a house. So 9 times out of 10, your house is going to sell. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to sell for more than it's worth. It's going to sell for what you're looking for. So
interesting.
That's the market we're in. But it's slowly stabilizing. Not even slowly. We're kind of like
when it was getting crazy though. You were part of when it was like super fucking wild though. At one point,
I came in right at the beginning of it, right before COVID. And I'll be honest, like I got to reap the benefits of it because I worked hard for it. Like I put my foot down and didn't let up. But you know, one thing about it is like from being from Jacksonville, I've seen a lot of people get displaced. I've seen a lot of it was sad, you know, like people people that are our age, 27, 28, having to move back with their parents and have kids. Like that doesn't make sense because their rent went up $500.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who can afford to live like that? You know what I mean? So I've like, one thing for me is I take pride in helping rather than just making a check off of it. Because when we close on a property, I'm going to make a check regardless.
Yeah,
but you have to live there every day.
Exactly.
You have to think, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is my lifestyle. I won't be able to sleep at night knowing that you're not, you're not happy.
Yeah.
So,
that you're not comfortable in this space. Yeah.
Exactly. So I just put more than like, it's more than just like a house search. You were saying, like, what do you look for? Like, I look for what you're looking for. I look for the neighborhood. I look for if there's kids around for your kids to play with, the schools. Like, there's so many details to it.
So there's a lot of care that you take as far as finding somebody a home to put them in, like the surrounding areas, like all of those things. Like, what does it take to be, I guess, an elite realtor? Because, like, for me, I always thought about getting involved in real estate, but like I don't think that like I would care enough. Like I don't you feel me? Like
passion, really.
Yeah, like I don't have the passion in real estate to be like, oh man, we gonna put you over here where there's bitches over here across the street. Like, you know.
Listen, if you would have seen his face, he was like,
what? No, but you get what I'm saying. For like,
so you about to start getting demerits. It's got to be a card flipping system or something.
A card flipping system. They start writing referrals.
Yo,
flags just flopping. I'm crying. That's too funny.
But you get what I'm saying, though, in the sense of the community that you're trying to move somebody in, especially if it's like a single bachelor type of, you know what I mean?
Like
it's
someone with family and kids does not need to be in like a college like spot.
For what?
Area.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just, I think about it like that to where I'm moving the homies over here, like, you know what I mean? Where we going to the beach, you know? So I don't know. I always think about stuff like that.
Tell me a little bit about your vetting process, if you can. Like, how much of your personal preference or opinion goes into buying or selling?
So really, it's more of like the buyers and sellers vet me. Okay. So they get, they are vetting Brea. Like, right. So my personality, everything is what they're looking for. Like, so that's how I get my clients. Like 100%, you have to put yourself out there, like in front of everybody. I go to like shows, like I go to like the Jay Leno show by myself because I just, networking is everything. If you just talk to people, you say, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing here? You go to a bar, just sit there, have a conversation. Like, you put yourself out there and it's going to come in return, Right. So you're not selling yourself, but you're selling networking. Yourself because your brand. Exactly.
Yeah, it's networking.
Networking is everything.
Is that something that's easy for you to do?
It depends.
Like, are you more of an extroverted person though?
It really depends. It's like I go back and forth. Like, so when I'm in a public space, like it's on, but I really prefer to be an introvert. Like I prefer to be at home all the time, like at my house working.
You're a hybrid.
But yeah, exactly.
And when it comes to when your business has to thrive on you being a hybrid, you kind of tap in when necessary.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
When it like honestly, when you're a hustler, then you you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You'll do whatever you have to do. So if you have to put on a fake smile, if you have to pretend, I like this, and you don't like it, when it comes to the paycheck, you'll do what you got to do. You know.
What you gotta do. Yeah. So have you ever, I guess, sold a place where you was like, yeah, I don't really fuck with this place, but somebody else was like, no, this is the one. Like,
I mean,
I always think that's like, very interesting. Like,
I work with a lot of investors, so they buy, you know what I'm saying, anything and then fix it up. And sometimes you have to have a vision, and I have vision. Like, I can see a lot of things, but sometimes their vision is way beyond anything I can see.
Sometimes
so
it's like, nah.
I got to ask you a couple times. Are you sure? But 9 times out of 10, they prove to me that my vision was worth it. So sometimes, but. You can never judge somebody, like I said, because everybody has different preferences. So it's never a judge, but it's just hold on. Like, before we take this
step. Is this really what we want to do here? Right. Yeah. No, that's crazy. That's really interesting. So as far as being an author, switching gears a little bit. Yeah.
Before we switch gears, I just wanted to ask, have you noticed any type of common denominators from the people that vet you?
No.
There's something like that?
Well, that's one thing I pride myself in is my diverse clientele. So I have clients that are 70 to 80 years old. Right. I have clients that are fresh out of the Navy. I have celebrity clients that I prefer to keep some of my clientele on the low because they are very.
No, expose them right now. Who?
Don't put me on this.
Who is it? Oh, got it. All right, fine.
One of my clients actually, everybody in here seems to be a Jags fan. Yeah. He's no longer a Jags, but LaVisca Chenault was just one of my clients.
Got him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. I like the Chenault, bro, but his hands wasn't shit.
I'm sorry, I'm crying. He is so funny.
That's 3.
What?
I love it.
His hands weren't shit. Oh my god. Whatever.
I heard that everybody listened before he got traded, and when I told a couple people my family that he was my client, they were like, "Oh man, he's so raw." 2 weeks later, he got traded. Man, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, hold on.
No, throw that nigga a screen, and that's all he gonna do. Put him in the backfield, give him the ball, or throw him a screen. You can't run no routes and catch nothing. Man, get that nigga the fuck out of here. I don't even know where he is now.
I think though that one thing, sorry to switch it up, but I think one thing about the Jaguars that people tend to forget is it is a team sport, and they all have to play a role. You know what I'm saying? So I had a conversation with him. So
and what did he say? Because now I'm interested. What did he say?
It is a team sport. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to contribute. So when y'all lose so many games, and I'm sorry, let me scoot over. When y'all lose so many games and everybody's getting depressed, y'all all can't reflect the depression of it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to step in and be a leader and say we still got to keep going. Even though we're 0-16,
that's funny to you.
It's so funny.
We've never been 0-16, by the way. We've always won at least one game.
Crying.
We not fact checking.
The fact that we can say that with pride is hilarious. We've always won.
We got one every season. Okay, something to be proud of.
Have you seen that sense of teamwork in the realtor field? Is there a sense of community with realtors?
It depends. So. It's a very competitive.
I figured it would be.
Oh my god, it's so competitive.
I figured it would be.
I've learned the hard way. It's been hard because I do a lot like a lot by myself, like, but a lot of people have a team, like and that's my next like investment. I honestly need a team. You can only do so much by yourself before you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
now
facts.
you can't turn nowhere because you got all this shit to do. So, but like there are realtors who are so supportive, so genuine, caring, like, you know what I'm saying? They're there to help you. But then you have the ones who are there like just be competitive. Shit, like, and I don't like that because like, why? If I win, you win. Like, you know what I'm saying? How? Like, so if there's a buyer, if like it's a buyer and seller transaction, if you're representing a party and you're representing a party, we come together. Like, and we both, like, you know what I'm saying? We both win off of it.
So y'all both are able to profit off of one place.
Yeah, like, and we can always help each other. We can send referrals. Like, so if I know an agent down in Miami, I can send them this client and I still get like a referral off of it because like there's always ways to help each other. Like there should never be really greed, but people are always going to be greedy. That's a given. But it's like, it's a win-win situation. Let's help each other win. There's no need to like be stingy, greedy. Like,
yeah, but you don't feel like you need to be the best realtor out? Oh, okay. Then what are we talking about?
I mean, it's like hustle and ambition. You want to be the best at everything you do. Right. You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is, so it sounds like that you don't want there to be that type of greed, but you understand that type of greed at the same time.
So, okay, let me put this in the simplest way possible. Okay. Real estate is very competitive, but the only person I am in competition with is myself.
Talk your
You know
shit,
what I'm saying? So that's the only person I care to compete with. I don't care about, you know what I'm saying? Every time something happens, I beat myself. I be like, it's never like, because when you're in competition with someone, you do something and you're like, oh, I just one up them. No, when you're in competition with yourself, oh, I just one up me. Like, and you just keep it going and keep it going. I never care. You know what I'm saying? When I love to see people win. One thing about it. So if I'm winning and you're winning, we're winning together. That excites me. You know
respect
what I mean?
that.
Like, so it should just never be a competition. That's just the way I see it. I know everybody's perspective is different. So my thing is, really
quickly, is you don't think that you can one up yourself and somebody else at the same time?
You would have to be. So I think that's a matter of mindset. Like, you would have to be in a mind frame to care about one-upping somebody else. I don't care to one-up nobody else. I care about one-upping me. You know what I mean? Like, all I care about is being a better me. Is
she talking?
You know what I mean? So it's, like I said, like in... Like, I would never care to one-up nobody else. And like I said, I want to see you one-up yourself. I want to see you do the same thing I'm doing. Like, we can all win, and we could be 3 realtors, and we all have, like, you know what I'm saying? I want to see you win just like I'm winning. I want to see you get clientele like I'm getting clientele.
Then what makes you the best?
Because I'm me. Like, I'm her.
I like that.
It's my hustle, my drive. So we were talking about earlier, like, I set my clientele. So at first it's like, I need clients when you get started, you know what I mean? And now it's like, I work with a certain amount of clients because I want them to each have that care. I want them to each have through the whole process from day one to whatever it may be. I want them to all feel like, no, like, she's not putting me on the side burner. Like, no,
she's good care of you.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what matters to me. Like, because I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing this for a check. I know a million ways to get a check. I can go get that. Like, but I'm doing this for more than just that. Like, that's what I love I love to see people happy. So, and you were like, oh, I couldn't get any passion out of real estate. It's when you're giving somebody a home and knowing that you're making an impact on their life like that. Oh goodness, the joy it brings you is crazy. So,
on that same note, you said you came into this at the start before COVID, right? So what creative ways did you have to come up with marketing? Tell us a little bit about like the beginning of your journey. One
thing I will say is marketing is like the most expensive thing in the world. Like, I put probably 3 times what I invested into like getting real estate started into marketing. And at first I was in the hole. Like all I could do was like work 2 jobs on the side and keep it going and say my prayers and then keep putting myself out there until like I literally just keep putting yourself out there until you get that first client and then until you get that second client. And then one thing I learned about having a business is like, the people, like they say, so when you start real estate, they say, oh, the people that you know will probably be your first clients. To this day, I know one person who's referred me, like, to anybody. None of my clients have come from people I know. Nobody. Like, so it's literally about, and they all know that I'm a realtor. They all repost. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're always like, oh,
but we all broke.
the thing that gets me is like they all call me, or like when you go out and you see them in a setting, they're like, oh yeah, I need to buy a house, let's do this.
Oh, see, if they doing that, that's corny.
Every single time we go out, and it's bothersome because one thing about it is my time is money. Like, facts. So I'm not gonna sit here and have a 20-minute conversation that we've had 3 times already. It's right. A waste of time if you're not ready. That's an accumulative
of an hour of meaningless conversation because you're not gonna make no moves.
Exactly.
Like, you're not gonna have nothing ready.
I done told you that from point A to point Z. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know all of this process, but don't have the money in place to actually put any moves together. What are we talking about?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I had to learn to stop giving so much free game because, I mean, I don't mind helping. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to put people on. But one thing about it is when you say, like, I learned, like, it's like when you don't give people that game, it's like telling a kid no for the first time. Like, you know what I'm saying? You give and you give and you give, and then they're like, tell me how to do this.
It's like, nah,
I can't tell you how to do it, but I can tell you what to do to get, like, you know what I'm saying? I can put you in position, but I can't make it happen for you. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, like, do you know what I did to work for this?
Right,
like,
right,
you know
right.
How much it took to get here?
You know how much it took to get this information that I have to even be able to give you right now? That's different. Like,
and people don't realize that, like, getting information takes so much time. There is so much time putting into freaking watching YouTube videos, listen to go to seminars, like all that, just to gain that knowledge. I just didn't figure this shit out.
Right. It didn't just come out of the fucking sky. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Exactly. Do you think in your field, is it a disadvantage or an advantage to being a woman in your field right now?
I would say. So at first, that's a good question because I had this conversation before. At first, I didn't realize like the disadvantages of being a woman. It's never a disadvantage because if you make shit happen, you make shit happen. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So, but excuse me, as an African American woman, you definitely see some of like. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had a situation in real estate before where my race has played a role, and my client was a white woman, and I swallowed it. She went over my head and said something about it. She said you should have like, and it took that for me to say something, but she was like, you should have never let nobody step on. Like, you know what I'm saying? You are a woman, a black woman, and you should never let nobody try to like put you down, make you belittled. Like, and I understood that I was doing something in her favor, but she did not give a fuck. She was like, no, you are like, you know what I'm saying? Do not let anybody step on you like that. And from then you know,
now from then you stepping at that point. Exactly. Like, no, that's crazy. So I feel like if I'm buying a house, I don't want to go through no nigga. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I don't want to go through a man to buy a house.
Some men are very intelligent though. They are very.
I'm not saying that they not. I think for me personally, what a woman sees and what a man sees is just very different. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it's very different, but there are slight differences that make a difference in how I'm gonna feel when you're talking about a home. If we touring a home together, you say, no, this is a good spot because if you want to raise your kids here, blah blah blah, you want to do blah blah blah, and I'm talking to a man realtor. He's like, yo, you can have a lot of bitches in here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It's just the difference may, you know what I'm saying, sway me in a sense to where, you know, raising a family is long term in terms of, you know what I'm saying, the man realtor talking about the next 3 months.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that goes like into play of like being a successful realtor, man or a woman. Like you have to, people think, oh, being a realtor is selling houses. So you go and you look up a house and you pick it. No, there is so much documentation, legal documentation that you are in, like, you know, it is important that you're in charge of. There's like, you got to do statistics. You have to know your market. Like there's so much to know. Facts. It's not just looking up a 4-bedroom house and saying, oh, this might work for you. Like, no, there's so much more to it. And any man or woman can do it. But I'm not going to lie. Some women, there's women who walk in a house, don't even know the square footage, and they're like, yeah, this is, how can you try to sell a house you don't even know the square footage of, you know? So
that's is that like basic? Go ahead. That's
a basic fact. You should know the bedroom numbers, the bathroom count, the square footage. Like that's standard.
Accumulating all of that knowledge, being fairly new in the field, what would be your piece of advice for somebody that might feel like they want to dip their toe into realty?
I would say, if you have an interest in it, do it, because anybody should have a real estate license. You never know who you could go into that wants to sell a house or wants to buy a house, and that could be a nice little commission for you. But anybody that wants to start it, I would say just take it one step at a time. Don't try to like rush into it, because people are like, they're like, oh, I'm taking my real estate classes. Like, what advice can you give me? Finish the class. Like, just finish the class, because that test is, oh my goodness.
Was it a hard test?
It is. I failed it my first time. By 1 point. Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yes, by 1 point.
Wow.
Yeah, but I went 36 hours later when you can go again and took it again and I passed it. But
okay.
My uncle, he's like a millionaire now in real estate. He failed it 10 times.
Wow.
Like 20 something years ago. But yeah, like,
hey, so bro, let me hold $1.
No, I'd prefer, and that's one thing is like I have a lot of family out here in the Arab community that does real estate. Never reached out to any of them. I ran into a girl at an open house and she was my cousin. I didn't even know it.
Wow, like, holy shit.
Yeah, she had my mom's last name. I was like, this is familiar. She was like, yeah, this is I was like, oh shit, we're family. Like,
that's crazy.
It's very crazy.
So you come from like a lineage of real estate then? I think lineage is a little strong, but like it's something that in your family that isn't foreign.
Well, so to say, yeah, but I didn't really grow up around my Arab family out here.
Got you.
So
okay.
I grew up on the West Coast, like really with my mom.
Okay.
Then my brothers. That was really it. So, and then when I came back here is when I started like getting more in tune with my family. And everything. Is
there anything from your, I guess, bringing into real estate? Don't get me wrong. Is there anything you knew now that you wish you knew then? You know what I mean? As far as, because you've been doing it for a couple years now, correct?
Yep, I'm going on 2 years this month, actually.
Awesome.
One thing I will say
congratulations, by the way. That's really dope. You know what I mean? A lot of people
that.
Can't do shit for 2 minutes. So, like, you know what I mean?
Pick it up and put it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really fucking cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So anything that you knew now that you knew then? You wish you would have known then?
I wish I would have, like, just even speaking a few years back, because when I was in Vegas right after high school, I graduated, I tried to take the test, failed it a couple times. Like, so then I just gave it up then. So one thing I wish I would have like realized is just to take like life one step at a time. Like there's no need to rush anything. When it's meant to be, it's in God's time. Like everything is in God's hands. It's in his time frame. And you just got to let it play out like that. No, so I just wish I would have like not tried to rush things back then and just let them play their role, because everything fell into literally the position it was supposed to be in. So
absolutely.
You just shared with us that you have an Arabic background, right?
Yes, I'm Palestinian.
Have you seen a big Palestinian presence in the realty field?
I think there's like a wide Palestinian. I'm honestly not too sure. I really don't, because I don't like look at a person and be like, oh, are you like, you know what I mean? But I think there's a pretty big Arab community. I see some of my cousins like on signs and stuff all the time around here, so I know that there's.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's insane. That doesn't feel crazy to you?
It's. I don't know they're my family until my mom tells me. Honestly, sometimes she'll be like, "Look, that's my cousin Samir." I'll be like, "Oh,
shit."
Okay,
that's wild. Do you still have like family over in Palestine? Or?
There's some family over there, but I have a majority of my family in Jacksonville.
Oh, okay, cool.
My mom is first generation American, so
awesome.
Everybody else came from Palestine. I think in like the 70s, maybe.
Wow.
I'm not sure, but somewhere around that time.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
It's a very interesting country.
Being Palestinian, do you find yourself in any situations where you feel responsible for representing that community?
100%. So just like I would represent Black Lives Matter, I represent Palestine. And actually we're just to touch on it a little bit, I have a clothing brand coming out at the end of this month, and it's a Free Palestine hoodie. And I'm gonna be, because my country is ever like, wasn't born there, but the oppression that they go through between the Israel and Palestine wars, like that has been going on since Jesus was like literally, and people talk so down about it, like they're like literally they're trying to rid of Palestine totally. Like they're just trying to make it not even a country anymore. And I will be walking on my grave before I let them pretend that my country don't exist.
Right. So it's something, even being removed from it is something you still feel really deeply.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And that's just really important, because as an American, you know what I mean? We don't really feel shit deeply at all. You know what I mean? But I do still want to go to Africa. I want to visit these places that were oppressed at one point, that were, you know what I mean, under rule of other people, colonizers, and these type of like things. So that's just dope to see people still be able to fight for their roots, you know what I mean, and still be able to represent.
Especially because over there, like they cannot, it's very sad. Like the war between them, there's nothing they can do. Like my mom and her family were supposed to go over there for a trip like a year ago, and the trip got canceled because they weren't allowed to go over there. And then the year before that, out of 2 weeks that they were there, they got to leave their hotel for 2 days because of just the bombs going off, everything. Like there's kids growing up there, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then like I keep up with the political matters of it and everything as much as I can. Like Israel is I will say like the the forces that are against Palestine, they're very dirty. Like, they have kids signing bombs to send them over. Like, that is sad. They like over land, over power, territory. Like, is it worth it? I mean,
it's never really worth it. Not like they make it seem.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not like they make it
granted,
seem
the land is very territorial. It's where Jesus was born. It's literally a very territorial land, but it's like, you sleep at night knowing that you're like just killing kids, that like you're taking parent life. It's sad. But one thing, like I said, I will stand for my country to the end of time, just like I will stand for Black Lives Matter. So.
So just changing gears, it'd be cool to change gears. So just changing gears, you have a fucking book. That's not something that I need a soundboard so I can hit a round of applause right there. But
see the cover.
You know.
Self-sabotage.
You know, Self-Sabotage is the name of this book. Tell us a little bit about this book. Like, have you ever got a chance to speak on a platform about this book yet?
I haven't, actually.
Thank
this is my
fucking
first
goodness.
time.
Let's go. It's us.
Heck yeah.
Nigga, what? Nigga, is this camera on me? Nigga, you see this goddamn sign. No, go ahead. Please tell us more about this book.
Okay, so this is my first self-published novel. It's called Self-Sabotage. It's a fiction novel, very urban. It's an African-American lead. It's very explicit. It's like, one thing about it, I've been reading since I was literally old enough to read the book, and then I've been writing since my mom got me my first journal, and I've always wanted to publish a book. Freaking since I can't even tell you how many books I have on my computer typed up, but to actually like take the courage to actually publish it was the hard part. Like, it took so much. I wrote this book in 24 days.
Wow.
Like, it was nothing from start to finish. It took me nothing.
Okay. What
like,
the fuck?
That's passionate.
Yeah.
24 days to write a book?
A full novel. Yeah. Once it started, it flowed, you know, and I was
tell us about that process.
Yeah, no. No. That's different. Please tell us about that process.
It took a lot of sacrifice. So, because doing real estate full time, I'm also a full-time college student, and like, just working, hustling all around the clock. Like, I had to actually sit down and like, so this was probably like a 8 p.m. to like 6 a.m. every night type thing. Damn. Like, just knocking it out and no sleep on it. But you know, when you're so passionate about something and you just want to get it done,
just move on it.
Couldn't stop.
Yeah,
I just couldn't let up.
Yeah. Wow.
And
holy shit.
I know.
Well, congratulations again. Like,
Thank you.
One thing I want to ask, the process of writing a book, where is it, like, at one point, I guess, what I want to ask is,
get it up.
I know, right? I didn't know how I wanted to frame it. At what point do you be like, this is a book right here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure you've written stories before. Yeah.
When it comes to mind, like, so like when this has been like an idea. So I had like the thought of writing this book back in, I want to say like October of last year. And I jotted some notes down because when I think of like an idea that I want to write about, I just jot the notes down. February came and I was like, I went through like a very traumatizing point in life. So I was like, I need to let it out. You know, I did this and this is the best form of what I know how to let it out. And I sat down, I wrote the book. And one thing I like I said, I've been reading for a long time, but I got tired of reading about like fairy tale endings. Even in like some books you'll read, like it'll just end just too happy. And that's not reality. Like 9 times out of 10, even if it's only a chapter of your life, a book may just be a chapter of your life, but it doesn't always end happily. You know what I mean? So I just got tired of reading fairy tale ending books. And
how does this book end?
Shit. It's some real shit.
I'm just joking. Don't tell us how it is.
I can't tell you that. But it's very different. Like I said, so it's an African American woman lead. It's about like betrayal, vengeance. There's a lot about narcotics.
Niggas get fucked up.
Very much so.
Yeah.
It's about like entrepreneurship, hustling. Like, so basically, like just to give like a quick rundown, like the main character. If we were to go through the prologue, which is, so it starts with the prologue, and then when you start the book, it's 7 years later. So within the prologue, her mom, the main character, Micah, her mom is I won't tell you what she's into, but basically SWAT team comes and raids the property and then takes her mom to jail. And then a lot happens, within that prologue. And then 7 years later is her mom's getting out of jail, and it tells you, but what she's done in that 7 years is quite crazy. So it's
wow.
Okay.
But this book is not about the 7 years. The next book is about what happened in that 7 years. So this is about 7 years later.
So is there Self-Sabotage 2, or is
You're just gonna have to stay tuned.
All right, fair enough.
Where can it be found?
Oh, go ahead.
Where can it be found?
Self-Sabotage?
Yeah.
It can be found on Amazon. It has iBooks, like Apple iTunes iBooks. I'm on Barnes and Nobles. So those 3 platforms. Or you can reach out to me personally. I have signed author copies.
Definitely.
Whichever you prefer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So what does actually self-sabotage look like in a real estate standpoint? You know what I mean? How do you self-sabotage in the field that you thrive in?
I don't really coincide. I mean, so like I just kind of market myself all around. Like I don't really coincide the two. Like this is one baby and then real estate's another baby. Oh, no,
you know? Like, I don't mean as in the book. I meant just the term self-sabotage, just period. Not necessarily the book at all. Like take that away from it. Just the term self-sabotage, you just being in your own way. What does that look like in the real estate field? You know what I mean?
Really just like, oh, that's a good question.
I'm on your ass.
Hold up. And I'm about to be ready. Let's see. I would just say, I don't know, just kind of like stepping on your own feet, like when you know you should be doing something or you're not doing it. I don't know. I have to think of like an example because that's a good question.
What does self-care look like for yourself?
Putting me first.
Right.
Always putting me first because I guess, boom, look how it works. Self-sabotage is not putting me first because one thing I've learned is that I will put everybody else first and I'll be on the ground like struggling and everybody else is thriving.
Making sure everybody else is good without even checking in with yourself for the most part. Yeah.
And things are if you're not okay, like not okay, like mentally I'm saying, but if things are not okay on your end, then you're not able to give that full quality service. You know what I mean? So you have to take care of yourself first in order to provide that. So
wow. Okay. That's pretty dope.
As an author, you mentioned about tired of happy fairy tale endings. Do you find that in writing that there's a need for escapism as opposed to accentuating trauma?
Okay.
I hate your questions. They're always so much better than mine.
I think it goes both ways, though. I think it's for both. It's an escape route for both. Like so, you can write about happy things, and honestly, like you're still, people have a journal, and you write about how your day's going, and whether it's a horrible day or a happy day, it's like your escape route. You know what I'm saying? You're letting it out, but it's also a way to accentuate trauma. Like so, this is a fiction book, but there are a lot of factual things in this book, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm tired of fairy tale endings. I'm tired of like even just like the simplest of situations, like how you'll see on like TV and things like that, how like when they have a conversation with the police or like, and things just, that's not how it would go. I don't like that. I know how it's gonna go. I've been through how it's gonna go. So that's what I'm gonna write about because that's what you relate to. That's what I relate to. You know what I mean? So some of it is traumatic, but trauma's a part of life, like if you can't face that, then you're gonna have a hard time.
It really is. The fact that like trauma plays because trauma happens at a very early age for a lot of us, and how it plays in such a role in how we decision make and how our mind works further on down the line is just really crazy. Have you not necessarily gone through a certain type of trauma, but has any trauma that you ever went through played in the decisions that you make today as far as the career choices that you make when it comes to writing a book, when it comes to being a real estate agent? Like how do you know what I'm saying, or a realtor? I don't know how people want to be identified, but you know what I'm saying, when it has those moments in your life previous help you get to where you are today?
Most definitely. Yeah. I think at first, like for a long time when I was young and naive, it was like my traumas were holding me back. Like those things like were making it so hard to excel. And then I took them and I used them as like fuel. Like you see things and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then you wake up the next day and you made it through. Like, you got through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I literally use that as like fuel to the fire. Like I've overcame all this. So if I've overcome this, there's nothing that's going to stop me now. You know what I mean? Like I don't after you've been through so much, I mean, this is not for everybody, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody has their own, like, personal feelings about certain things. But, like, for me, after I'd been through so much, like, you can only, like, be knocked down so many times before you're like, okay, I done been knocked down. I'm going to get right back up. Like, I know how this is. My knees are already scraped up. What's one more? Like, so, so...
Very interesting.
But, just take the traumas, turn them around, and use them for your benefit.
Do you feel like you can sell a house?
A house?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
No, I'm not even going to
pretend. Sell a house?
Yeah, I can sell a house.
If you can sell me this water bottle, you can sell me a house.
I'll give you that water bottle. I can probably sell you a house, though.
I can sell a water bottle.
Yeah.
If you can sell a water bottle, you can sell a house?
If you can figure out a way to sell me this water bottle when I already have it, you can sell a house.
So you thirsty?
So you thirsty?
I'm gonna sweat this room out till you drink.
Oh God! It's like charge. Well, we're gonna turn up the heat in here. No charge to you, but if you do want to drink that water, that's 35 cents. Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy. I don't think I could sell a house just off the simple fact that I don't care if you live in it or not. You know, and I don't think like I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I wanted to get into.
What if you had a more personal connection to it? That's something I would like to ask you. Like, but you first. If you had a personal connection
to a house,
to the family needing the house, would that make you more?
I'm pointing them in the direction of somebody who cares more.
Your family.
I'm pointing them in the direction of someone who cares. I don't give a shit. You can stay at my crib until y'all find y'all shit. Like, I've done my
priorities
part.
Are different. You know what I mean? So like, what you're looking for in like a career and everything is not sales. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not your interest. Like, no. But for me, I can sell water to a whale if I have to. You know, so it's like that's. Like, he doesn't have a passion for anything sales wise. You know what I mean? So that you would probably thrive if you put everything into it, but it's not what you're looking for. Like, so if you wanted to sell a house, you sell yourself as a photographer. You know what I mean? So you could probably thrive in real estate too. Like, it's literally just about branding yourself and selling that brand. Like,
but my thing is, like, it's about what you're willing to sell yourself as. I'm not really willing to sell myself as this over here, but as a fucking concrete breaker verbally, I don't mind selling myself as that at all. Like, I'll rap for you in a heartbeat. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's you see where it is. Like, I literally had this conversation in my head of, damn, if I was in this empty ass house with no furniture in it, am I able to sell it due to the location of it? I don't care that much. Like, you know what I mean? And when somebody comes in here, we're touring this house, it's like, yeah, no, bro, you should just buy this shit, bro, for real. Because, like, shit, what else you gonna do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you can't pitch something like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the best pitch I got.
Right.
You know?
There's a matter of professionalism, too, though, with it. Like, so you say that, like, so when you're like, okay, like I said, I work with some celebrity clients. So I've worked with rappers who could barely even speak English. But I still have to remain, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Palmdale, from north side of Jacksonville, like, you know what I'm saying? But I stay professional even when I'm with them, you know what I'm saying? So they could be talking like, blah, 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 and I'm still very professional, you know what I mean? Like, so it's, like I said, there's a passion to it. It code switching.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm telling you, I'm with you.
Like,
man.
So what does networking look like for you when it comes to your client base? And also, have you ever, what are some of the relationships you fostered with some of your customers, potential customers, things like that?
So I seen this thing, like, it's crazy to say. I seen a post or something on Instagram, and it was like, what is it? A client will become a friend before a friend becomes a client.
Absolutely.
And that has been 100% true to me in every aspect.
Damn.
All my clients are my friends. Like, I'm talking about, like, my 50-year-old clients with kids. They invite me over to dinner. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I love my clients, all of them. That's why I say I put so much care into them. Like, we grow relationships. Like, we sit down and have conversations about deep parts of our life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just like some clients, my investors and everything, they just want to make a phone call and make shit happen. So I'm just here at their disposal. Like, but then I have the clients who there's real, like, care and a genuine relationship I build with them. Like, and that matters to me because
that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, how do you, I guess my question is, how do you differentiate the clients that will be that in comparison to the clients who just need somewhere to stay?
It's kind of just a matter of how you approach me. Like, so when your approach tells me everything, you know what I mean? Like,
if they're desperate.
Yeah,
like,
if you come and you show desperation, we're gonna put our pedal to the metal and gonna make it happen. But if you come like, hey, in a few months, as soon as someone says in a few months, I know, okay, we're not, and there's no rush. We still need to get things in motion, but there's no real dire rush. Yeah, exactly. It's not a dire need. So
Okay.
Interesting.
But
you started the conversation on referencing yourself as a jack of all trades.
A Jill of all trades.
A Jill
of all trades.
Make sure you,
wow.
His flag.
That's a flag.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's a flag.
Make
A
sure
Jill
you
of all
get
trades.
that. Yeah, get that right.
A man is a Jack and a lady is a Jill. It's okay.
On here,
a lady.
So a Jill of all trades, what other creations on the horizon for you?
So like I said, I am a realtor by day. I'm a full-time interior design student. I graduate next year, but I also do freelance interior design. So I work with a lot of clientele with that. I'm an author, a self-published author. I am working so hard to make this a production. I really want it to be on film because it deserves it.
We have a videographer literally in here right now. If you're ever looking for one, Wade Sailor Productions, you know, we can literally bring this project to life.
We need interior design for the reset.
You hear me? You know what I'm saying? But even
we can help each other
with the little bit that I got to read, I haven't had a chance to read all of it. It seems like a very interesting, very, very easy to comprehend and to move forward type of story. And I would be excited to actually see that, you know what I'm saying, come to life. You know what I mean? So that would be dope.
I appreciate that. I'm really I've been putting so much work into putting it out there. So I'm gonna drop a little gem for everybody. So one thing that people, when you want to network and when you want to just get yourself out there, you really have to put yourself out there. So when I was posting this, I was tagging celebrities that I wanted to pay attention. So Ice Cube was on my shit on the regular. I was tagging him, but he watched everything. He liked, comment, you know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, I was hitting up Ava DuVernay, I'm hitting up Viola Davis, all of these people, though, because literally people are saying now, oh, it's too hard, but when it happens, then you know what I'm saying?
Now it's how hard was it really?
Consistency is everything. If you stay consistent, it's bound to pay off. So
that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Trying to take it to the big leagues. Let's do this. I'm so serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's make this happen.
Yeah, he's a very dope, you know what I'm saying, videographer, and then we got dope photographers, and then you have a dope actor.
I need a videographer too. Sorry, for real estate. I need a real estate videographer, a lifestyle.
We got you.
I love it. Networking.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're here to do, man. That's what this is all about, bro. Yes. Bringing different people in so we can all benefit from what we leave. You know what I mean? So you are gonna benefit the watchers here who are looking for a place in the future. You know what I'm saying? As well as benefiting us, you know what I mean, as far as looking for a place in the future. And then we try to do the same for you, man. You know, it's just all give and take at the end of the day, man.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick before we wrap up, what's your interior preferences? What are you drawn to interior wise?
I like modern luxury. Okay. Very love luxury.
I seen you. I think it was your story or Facebook or something like that. You made a corner bookshelf.
Oh, I did. Yeah. So that was part of my interior design. Yeah, I made a custom floating bookshelf. It was super cool. So hard. Took a lot of work. I freaking never put as much work into that. I'm telling you, I was drilling, I was sawing, doing all the work. See, I
didn't see this.
A Jill of all trades.
Absolutely. Yeah. Is that a service you're going to think about offering too?
That's a part of my interior design. So if it was a custom bookshelf for my client. He wanted everything in his house to be custom, unique, intricate, just different. You wouldn't see it in anybody else's house. So that was the hardest part. It took me, I think, I want to say a total of 36 hours from cutting the wood, sanding it. Oh baby, I got paid for my time.
I don't head off this goddamn show. Hell no. Custom? Who?
It's what I choose to do though. There's my passions there. You know what I mean?
Word.
But it was some work. I learned a lesson from that. For one thing about it is I could have paid somebody a few dollars to drill.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I would have done that. Save myself some back pain off
hell. Yeah.
Still custom.
Yeah, no, it's still custom. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know nothing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
If you want to wrap it up, we can. Is there anything else you would like to bring attention to?
I just wanted to make one announcement at the end of this month.
Please.
So going on the first week of October, I will be dropping my custom brand. It's Brea and Royal. Me and my mom are actually collaborating on this brand. So
you and your mom are collaborating on a brand. Yeah. That's different.
That's cool.
Heck yeah.
That's very different.
You know how they say, really quick, break generational curses? I take pride in because I'm setting myself up for my kids and my future. But my mom is a hard head, so stuck in her ways. And I brought her out of her ways to open a business and make it happen.
Holy shit.
I'm so excited because I'm doing it in both directions. Yeah. It means a lot.
Congratulations on that, man. And kudos to her for actually being able to,
Hell yeah. It takes
you know
courage.
what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
To take that step out into a creative field or a creative direction where she may not have done that if you weren't here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's fucking awesome, man. So thank you for like coming through, man. This was fucking awesome.
It was amazing. Thank you guys so much.
To hear how much more you're into than just real estate.
I was literally coming for a real estate and author question.
Yeah,
like started pulling out
sitting on the couch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy. So please, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you pick up a copy of Self-Sabotage.
Yes.
Make sure you put that up to the camera. Model that. Do a little shimmy. Yep. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you pick up a copy of Self-Sabotage. Make sure you watch more episodes of Project and Reflect. This has been Project and Reflect, and thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
See you later.